Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Engineer Tuan Abdurrahman Ahmad. So welcome to our interview session. So for today, we are from Group 9 for Subject Engineers and Society. We are required to interview one professional engineer or CEO of company or senior engineer of industry of techno framework with engineering background and business. So after I've done some research about your background, a bit of your background. So uh, Tuan Rani are fulfilling the desired criteria for us to interview and maybe to ask a few questions about the engineering field as stated in our assignments instruction. So let me introduce myself. My name is Binti Yusri. So thank you for willing to be interviewed by us, Engineer Tuan Abdurrahman. So welcome. So before I alright, most welcome. So before I start our interview session, it is more polite if I first introduce a little of your background. So may I, sir? Okay. Okay. You may correct me if I'm wrong, yeah? Alright. So Engineer Tuan Abdurrahman is a mechanical director of Mega Jati Consult Sdn Bhd, or to be exact, the specialization of Engineer Tuan Abdurrahman is in mechanical building services in railway. Am I correct? Alright. So I've also read that Engineer Tuan Abdurrahman is registered as professional engineer with practicing certificate, which is BEM, and also member of the Institution of Engineers Malaysia. So we can say that our interviewee for today is not an ordinary person. It's such a great person. So, but on the MJCSB, which is Mega Jati Consult Sdn Bhd website, if I'm not mistaken, there is no stated period of your experience in this field. So maybe we can start our session with that question, and also maybe you can share with us your answer, which why you choose to be an engineer in mechanical scope. While as we know, engineering have a various type of field, which is like electrical, electronics, and also the civil and environmental. So why Engineer Tuan Abdurrahman chose to be an engineer in mechanical scope? So maybe you can share with us. Yes, sir.
Imagine that if you have if you can do a straight line Batu Pahat to Kuala Lumpur highway, it could be the best, isn't it? But because of the cost, because of the topography, it has to be avoiding this. So as an engineer, even though the shortest distance is the shortest distance is a straight line, in reality it is not. In reality, it is not. So back to where we is language about safety and health, isn't it? So it is up to your imagination. If you are in the industries where there are workers from different part of the world, first, of course, the language. Second is we are human beings. Just tell them that if you hurt yourself, you don't follow procedures in a graphic manner, in point form, don't write an instruction like you are writing a novel. Put in point form. Number 1, don't do this. Number 2, don't do this. And then if you need be in multilingual, put it in English, in Bahasa, in the safety first, isn't it? That is the motto. Safety first. Safety is everybody's concern, not other people's concern. You and your friend, your boss, your subordinate, your inspector of work, your engineers are all responsible for safety and health at place of work. It could be in a factory, it could be in a site, it could be in a railway track, it could be in an airport. You are fixing the airport electronic system while the airport is being used. You could be in power plant while the power plant is producing electricity. It could be in solar farm, it could be anywhere. So I hope that you can digest the answer I have provided into your understanding and into your report. Okay? Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, sir. My name is Anisah Syafiqah binti Zailani. Okay, you as someone who has a lot of experience in this field, so what is your perspective to the engineering society in this country? Have we achieved end goal or the objective desired by this country?
Okay, we are blessed to be in living in Malaysia. It is a rich country in terms of resources, including yourself. You are the resources of the nation. Don't just think that resources is we have plenty of palm oil, we have plenty of this, we have plenty of that. Human being is a resource. Without us, there could not be any things useful like we are enjoying right now. You won't be able to enjoy pipe water. You won't be able to enjoy electricity. You won't be able communication like we are doing right now. We are human being are the best resources on earth. We are Muslim, right? There's I'm not going to start, but you read in the Quran why Allah sent us is to make this world a place for everybody to live. So we are the greatest human. We are the greatest resources. Of course, there is one. I have been to Somaliland. You can check out where Somaliland is. Is in the northern tip of Africa. It's Somaliland, not Westmoreland. Someone typing Westmoreland. So Westmoreland sound like in the US. It is Somaliland. Somali. Somaliland. Oh, it is auto record, isn't it? Okay. Okay, got it right now. It is a rich country in terms of natural resources, mineral, gold, oil, but because of the civil war with Somali and the bordering, forgot the name of that nation, their human resources lacking the educational part of it. When I was there in 2000, I think, when the plane landed at the airport, it is an international airport because the runway can take a big plane to land. So by default, it is an international airport. When I enter the arrival hall, you know what? The Pudu bus station look better than that. So we are blessed in this country. I have been to quite a number of countries outside Malaysia, and we are blessed. So keep that blessing. Keep praying that we, the human resource, we are part of that. So again, what was the question? Because I go, if I go too far, let me check the question again. The list. I don't want to tell so many
Actually, there's a new questions for you, sir.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Not in the
yeah.
list.
Sorry, sir.
I would like to keep on track. I don't want to be out of track what you asked me before. Otherwise, I think it would be difficult for you to summarize in your paper later on. What was the question
It's
again?
okay.
Sorry.
Maybe Syafiqah can repeat the questions.
Yes,
So my
please.
question is, what is your perspective to the engineering society in this country?
Okay, right. I don't know about the statistic. You can check how many is us engineers versus how many lawyers, how many doctors, how many lecturers, how many accountants. I believe we are. I think we are on the second spot after lawyers. You can check that out. And as I said earlier part in the interview, engineers in the in the 60s, in early 70s and 80s, especially engineers in the field of civil that comprises of roads engineers, water engineers, construction, structure engineers and mechanical and electrical engineers in building, like airport, university, like your university, and so on. Those days, the demand for this field is big. But as we grow up, as we become more advanced in our society, then we have a new branch of engineering, like where you are right now, electrical, electronic, and there are so many engineers now. So engineers, I'm proud to be engineers because, as I said earlier on, I don't pay attention too much to the misconception. You do your work honestly. You help the nation to be what it is right now, and the rest Allah will pay you. So my contribution in society, I leave it to Allah to pay for it later. But it is you. You think that you would like to contribute, then you the society should you have to express to the society you are an engineer, good engineers. You don't wait for them to evaluate you. It's always you. It's always your performance, your conduct, and your sharing experience, like what I'm doing right now. I'm glad you called. I have given several talks before this to university and to polytechnic, how I enjoy being an engineer. Of course, as time goes by, world is becoming very tough, not for engineers, for everybody, especially after 2 years of our pandemics and whatnot. It changed the outlook of the industry. You also have to adjust yourself. The society also is adjusting. You see now, societies are being forced to follow SOP here and there, and the way we conduct our meeting. Probably 2 years ago, I have to travel or to Batu Pahat to be interviewed by you all in a face-to-face interview, and it will take at least two hours to drive from KL to Batu Pahat. You know, I have to drive myself there, spend time on the road, and you also have to set up the place for me to be with you. But today we can still work as engineers through a new media like this. So these are the things that you should be sharing with the society. Engineers is doing a lot of things. Not by you, but the engineers society itself. You see, like you are doing right now, it is a good thing. And I don't know whether this is confidential, the interview. You can always share it with the society, at least with your fraternity in UTHM itself. Be proud to be an engineer. Don't be despair. You know, be proud with what you have to show that, as an individual as well as a group. Is that answer the question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. You just bear with me. I can answer a lot of other questions too. Okay. Next.
Can we go to the next question?
Yes.
Okay, that's such a great sharing, Engineer Tun Abdurrani. So there are a few questions left from us. So this is my last questions, and the rest will be my friends' questions. So from me, I would like to hear from you who have been in this field for a long time. So what the obstacles of being an engineer that society should be exposed or know? Because as we know, every field of career, and of course all careers have their challenges, but engineering is one of the professional professions, so maybe you can share with us.
Okay, good question. Another good question. I remember I became engineer for the last 40 years. A lot of things evolved the last 40 years, especially in the field of electronic. Internet of Things, and artificial AI, artificial intelligence. I think even when we first introduced driverless LRT train in Kuala Lumpur in 1995, you probably were still in school, correct? 1995.
Not born yet for me lah.
Okay.
You're not born yet, sir.
Oh, okay. You are not born yet. Okay. 1995, I was the senior mechanical engineer with Putra LRT. Now is Kelana Jaya line. When we first introduced, even before that, when we first introduced, when we Malaysia or KTMB introduced electric multiple unit, electric train, replace the old system, people were very skeptical. First time, you know, they always were skeptical, and they always one thing strange about our society is to be like that. They would like to wait and see things, you know. They never want to be the first to enjoy, to find out. And oh yeah, by the way, engineers have to be very curious. You have to be very curious. You have to ask a lot of questions yourself. Why it is like this? Why we are moving like this? Why we are going like this? Why? And then followed by how. You know, the why, the how, the when, the where, the who. It's a good method of trying to solve any issues. Okay. Then we are moving towards electric multiple unit train KTM, then driverless train KTM, now MRT, all MRT in KL, all driverless. But over the years, introduction of new innovation, people get used to it already. Number one. Number two, industries proceeded from that. Everything now is going to be driverless. And your era, 20, 30 years down the road, is going to be electronic and Internet of Things and artificial intelligence. I believe it will apply to all fields of engineering in some extent. Of course, the final, imagine you can use Internet of Things and artificial intelligence to design a highway. I think it will, the computers will do all the calculation for you. All the structure calculation, all the electronic electronic requirement for traffic control and management, whatnot, for you. And robot will construct the road. So that is the challenge. You don't, since you are in this electrical electronic, correct? And I believe you also learn a bit. Yes, you learn about Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and whatnot. This is the biggest challenge to all engineers. I like to go into this deep, but because of my busy schedule and my background, I don't really have time into it. It's all you. It's all you how to deal with it when it comes. Now, drone has been into our construction industries lately, quite lately. I look at it, and when drone was not around, it is very difficult for the surveyor to do their survey works in the jungle, in the valley, in the hill, to maintain TMV grid line across the valley and whatnot. You know, they are passing in the jungle, and now drone is doing the things. So it is, you know, drone is part of a combination of, to me, is a combination of aeronautical engineer and electrical electronic engineer. It's a combination. Those are the challenge. And I hope that give you some insight what you are going to see in the future. And remember, uh, engineering field has diversified from the traditional electric, civil, mechanical, electrical into so many. Even now in civil or mechanical, we have process engineer, we have water engineers, we have renewable energy engineers, we have, you know, it's no more traditional M&E and civil. It has diversified. So that diversification you have to be aware of, and where you're gonna be. Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your point of view.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
another question from me. What
Yes.
causes the graduate engineering student hard or fail to get a job even they have the skills? Your sharing will be
Oh,
really
okay.
beneficial lah.
All right. All right. Now, you are still not. You are in the final year, I believe.
Third year.
Third year, you have another year to go, right? The final year with project, I believe.
Sure.
Practical training, right?
Yes.
Do you have to go through a practical training?
Yes, but
Yes.
Okay. All right. When I first joined, my boss said to me, "Really, what you learn in university is no, sorry. He said that when you come to work here in this office, it's all common sense." I said, "Hey, sir, I spent 2 years doing my A level, 4 years doing my degrees, total of 6 years. How come you said? How come you said when you come to work, it is all common sense?" He didn't answer me directly. He said, "What you learn in your university during your degree days is only to help you, to assist you in your work." It is true. Common sense. All you learn in university is to support your common sense so that you have solution to any issues. I cannot give you a specific idea right now because I would like to give you the right one, but there's so many as far as my experience is concerned. You have to be applying common sense. Okay, let me think. How we communicate? Yeah, I think this is one of the area where we engineers seems not very good in communication. We think a lot. We put our thought onto piece of paper. We put our thought into building things up, but we are not very good in communication with non-engineers, especially. You have to remember, have to accept this fact. Probably when you graduate, you have to work with non-engineers. Who is your boss? This is where I found. This is where I find a new graduate lacking. I've already told my staff, when you communicate, please be precise and concise and straight to the point. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, remember? So when you are writing up things, nobody is stopping you from you writing straight to the point. We are not trained to, I don't know. I find it difficult when to put, during my student days, a very lengthy report. I think you all share with me also, right? You have ideas, but how to put it in a report form. So I told my my staff, be practical, use your common sense, and use in precise and concise, put in point form. I don't know whether that is applied to you when you're writing up a report. The important thing is for engineers is to express your view, not the words that you use. You know, lawyers different people altogether. Lawyers use lost language, you know, and it works. We don't have to have a thick letters just to respond to an issue. Put it in point form, but it has to be in very chronological manner. And yes, chronology in engineering is important. First, what happened? Second, what is the result? Third, what is the resolution? The chronology. You cannot jumble up the chronology. Okay, I have the solution first without addressing what is the objective. So writing up is and other than that, what was the question again? Sorry, what to ask? What was the question again?
What causes the graduate engineering student hard or fail to get a job, even they have the skills?
Okay, right now. Graduate engineers. I think you have to correct yourself. When you graduate, as I said, when you graduate, your skill is probably confined within your university, within your group, within your lecturer. So when you leave your faculty or your campuses into the real world, this is where your skill start from zero. This is, I'm being tough here, from zero. I remember when my boss told me, it's all common sense. What you learn in university is to help you, bukan to hone your skill. Because outside world, you have to deal with non-engineers. You have to deal with society. That's why you have engineers in society, correct? You have to provide your service to non-engineers, to elder people, to a group of society that needs the service. Not everybody. So skill, of course, to develop your skill of learning, your skill of listening, the skill of giving solution in university. Yes. If you have the chance to give opinion in the seminar or any other convention, the university like today, say it. That is one of the way to hone your skill. I have a seminar conducted by Ministry of Education, Higher Education, for all the lecturers for lecture of Polytechnic. So they would like to get feedback from me, because we also receive internship from Polytechnic, UTM, UTHM. I can't remember anyone of you. UTM, Melaka, UM even doing their internship with us in the final year. So they would like to have feedback or on their system, on their student who were sent to us to do the internship. One of the things I found out that the communication skill, either verbal or oral or written. See, you have some idea, but you want to express it into your mouth to tell others. It's very difficult. That needs exercise. And of course, as I said, engineers, we speak fact. We don't and figures. We don't give arbitrary question, subject to this, subject to that. No, engineers are precise. We have standards to obey. We have standards to follow. I mean, you know, IEEE, for instance, electronic, isn't it? That standard, world governing standards. You simply cannot do new things without referring to it. If you want to develop new things for people, especially things that involve safety and health, you have to go that process. The IEEE or electronic standard has to be revised, and our controlling body here in Malaysia is SIRIM. SIRIM is the controlling body as far as Malaysian standard is concerned. So that is one of the things I believe you have to have in mind. The next challenge is because of the pandemic the world is experiencing for the last 2 years. It changed a lot of things. A lot of what we did before is now what we call the society is termed as new norm of doing things. Our office has now got used to a meeting that in the past we have to assemble in one place. We have to bring our drawing, we have to bring our notes, we have to bring our engineers into a meeting, and then in a big room we have a whiteboard where we can control room in thousands of miles away. Those are engineering. Those are aeronautical combined with electronic engineering, and they produce a machine that is great. But in this case, it is a machine that kill people. We don't. We think of a machine that help people in agriculture. I don't know, to give an example. And you have to have a great imagination. Don't just keep to your, because as I said, common sense. People, what agriculture industries need now? Probably artificial intelligence that can see which part of the plantation or the land that requires more nutrition than the other part of the farm, through artificial intelligence and intelligent electronic and whatnot, infrared reading and whatnot. Things like that. So it's a great, of course, at the beginning when you graduate, you are entering into a very tough working world, and you also have to be very tough. That is my advice. You cannot run from it. Yeah, world are becoming a tougher place to show who you are. Don't try to avoid it. It's a fact outside there. Okay.
That sharing is very meaningful for us who will be graduation soon. By the way, do you mind to share what method do you have in mind to integrate team building into the workplace?
Okay. I did it very in a very simple manner with my staff at least. I put them together because we run a M&E consulting engineering. You probably, if you join industry, you'll be part under E part of the branch of engineering. You are under electrical and electronic faculty, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So is traditionally is E part of the things. Engineers cannot work in silos. You know what that means?
No.
You know what silo is?
No.
Do you find out later? Not Shiloh, silo, SILO.
Never heard that.
Oh yeah, this machine is yeah, SILO. Silo. I know this machine is recording my pronunciation. So silo mean you are working all by yourself in a place surrounded by a very tall wall, and on top of it you could only see the sky. There's no window. Another example is horse racing. Of course, there are not many horse racing. Bukan horse racing. The horse is fixed in front of their head with a visor, so that each cannot see each other or left and right. He could only see the front, the finish line. So he is that particular horse is concentrating to finish the race to the front. It won't matter what happened to the right and to the left. I don't care. I just finish my run and get paid to it if I got number one. But in engineering or in any engineering related field, especially in application, you don't work like that. If you go into a real industry, for instance, you are the electrical electronic engineers for the signaling system. You don't work in silos. You work with your colleagues next door, next table. He probably is in civil. He is probably in a tunneling expert. He is probably in mechanical part of building services. So engineers works in a team. Now, how to make them work in the team? First, if you got the chance to be where I am right now, I would say, look, if my E fail, my M also fail, my civil also fail, because you are not supposed to work in silo. You finish your job while not caring for your next your partners, your associate or your team player. I always emphasize that. We tend to do our job. We tend to be like a horse in a race. We want to finish our first, and we don't care about others. No, it's not the it's not the way engineering works. And that is why in big construction engineers we have planning engineers. You know, he look the bigger picture. He look at the jungle, whereas we look at the tree. You understand the proverb? People at top or this planning guys, he looks at the jungle or the big picture. You look at your part in the big picture. So if the members of that big picture not synchronized in the work, you won't get the big picture. Have you ever played jigsaw puzzle? No.
Yes.
Now,
Yes, sir.
yes, okay, good. I'm glad some of you still remember jigsaw puzzle, because right now you have all those gadgets, things to play the game. Jigsaw puzzle. Jigsaw puzzle can be as big as A4 size paper and as big as the desk itself. Each piece of that jigsaw puzzle has its own meaning. You have to work in team. You have to place each other to form the big picture. So the one on top, he has looked the big picture in a drawing probably. But right now I'm putting you to do the top right hand corners, you in the middle, it has to be synchronized. It's a role of leaders. That's what I did with my staff. Every weeks we have what we call a toolbox. We check. We encourage them to work. We encourage them to check with our fellow, in your case, mechanical engineers. How are you doing? We give you enough information, and vice versa. That is basic in engineering. You have to talk, even in any other teamwork also. That is the only way I can think of how to gel you all into one team. This beside we have our ISO, beside we have our SOP, has to be led by one who gel everybody in. So and your role, if you join that big picture later on, you please don't be like a racing horse. You have to open up your visor, and you need to know also what my fellow engineers is doing. It's probably from civil, it's probably from production. You need to know that. I did that. I'm a bit busybody and nosy. Some people might not like that, but I explain the reason why I do that. I need to know what you do so that I can support you. I also need something from you so that I can proceed with my work. In university, do you face that or do you have that experience? Let's say you have a project with a fellow civil and mechanical friend, and your lecturer said, all right, there is an assignment, all three of you, you are from electronic, you are from mechanical, and you are from civil. There is an issue to solve. Do you have that kind of exercise?
Yes, sir.
University is teaching you to get ready to work as a team already. That is the message that university trying to tell you. When you are out, probably your friend who you are doing the assignment with, he probably be in other field, but the application is the same. You probably in aeronautical, you probably in semiconductor industry, but it's the same. It's a teamwork. Except that in university is not the real world. You are in a very controlled environment. When you go outside, then it is the real test. I have to be very philosophical in answering your question. I try to give example as many as possible so that you can understand. Leadership is important. So when you are outside, later on you observe what your leader is doing to gel you together into a good team. Does that answer question?
Yes, sir.
Or too philosophical to I hope you understand, right? You can always chat with me later on. You got my numbers, and don't stop here. I can always be contacted later on, or even when you leave your university for advice. Okay.
Okay, sir. So maybe this is our last question for our interview session with you, engineer.
Okay.
So we keep the good one last question. So my question is, what is your best experience in contributing to the society?
Oh, okay. Here society, I don't mean a very small society. I don't put it in that manner. My contribution to society is to the nation. The nation is built up on society. Your neighbors, your next neighbors, your next neighbors, your taman, your next taman, and your next district, your next state. That is my society. My contribution to the society, right from the very beginning when I started my job as an engineer, that was in Penang. Penang is my society. Who live in Penang is my society. Who live next door to me is my society. And when I mingle with them, I'm proud to say I'm with JKR, this is what we do, or anything I can help you. You have to go that extra 9 yard. Kalau if you are a golfer later on, extra 9 yard, Don't keep strict to what you are doing without trying to impress in a good manner, not in a bad manner. You are engineers in these societies to make everyone's life better. And as you grow up, I spend my time, I work hard to deliver the best. to the society. Indirectly, you conduct your experience, you conduct your experience engineers in JKR, then I move on to LRT, and for example, I was I think I was with KTM at that time. So in that context, passengers is my society. Okay, there was one incident on a train where the train suddenly stops. There seems to be a fire on board. I happened to be on that train. At that time I was with KTM. So I try to calm the passenger down. That is, I consider, now I realize my contribution to the society, because you are engineers with KTM. So contribution is it's not. It doesn't mean that your simple contribution, just like I mentioned just now, is not a contribution to the society. In this case, the society is the passenger riding the train. Okay, one. Number two, I share my experience with, like what we are doing right now. You are a society by itself, a student society in UTHM campus, UTHM electrical and electronic department, you call it, oh, faculty, right? You are society. You are society on its own, on your own right. So the definition society is very large. It depends where you are. I share my experience with students. I share my experience with a group of polytechnic senior lecturers. I share even with my career. I share them a video on how it looked like 20 years from now as far as rail transit is concerned in Lembah Kelak. Which line to be built, which line completed, what type of train, what station. That is my contribution. Nobody, I volunteer for it. So we talk engineers even in Surau. I hope that these engineers you one of you later on be a successful electrical engineers, be invited by a Muslimah in your area of Surau to talk on electronic engineers. Why not? I have given a lecture in Surau on rail, and I've given a lecture in the same Surau on books, not necessarily engineering books. So it's you, how you a member of society at large want to contribute together as a society or individually as you as an engineer later on. And now as I move toward my 64th birthday next year, you know, I hope I can share more of my experience with young engineers like you. And by the way, how many men engineers in your faculty?
Never know that. Never know that data lah. But for sure in FKEE, I think like half, I guess. Like,
yeah, 50-50, right. It is during my time, it is like mechanical, I think electrical also. It's like 80-20 men, 80-20 ladies. Now it's, you know, catching up. There is evolution as far as engineering society is concerned. Now more ladies in engineering than before. So God, Allah created us with different emotion, different faculty of thought, different strength. It should be better. You know, you have to be positive about this. And is that answer the question about society?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. I just like to share my experience when I did this engineering in society in my final year. You have to present yourself in front of a camera, video camera. So you pick the title you want to talk on, or you want to speak to the camera. You are given the I think 10 or 15 minutes in a studio, a real recording studio. Nobody is inside the room. You and the cameraman only. Just like you are presenting on the stage. And in the winter, I sweat like I was in Malaysia. Try to express my view in an empty room. So I'm not trying to scare you, but that is the experience that was the experience I went through. To express your views, your engineering views, is tough. But right now, I believe all university has been equipped with this modern equipment, studios, and you are used to talk in public a lot. I think it should help. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid to express your view. But of course, being an engineer, it has to in line with your engineering understanding. Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. So that's all from you. Is there any words that you want to share?
Oh, me. I just wish you all the best in the field. And when you are embarking on your final project, you can always chat with me. I can give. That's how I did with so many students. There's so many students that I become their mentor when they want to sign up with to become a student membership or BEM, IEM. I look up into their report. I give my thought, where to improve and what field you to select to do your business. To do your final project. And finally, if that final project help you to be an entrepreneur, finally, area you have to open up your mind to the world. What is needed there, outside there. You can always I think by next term you'll be getting the title, right, for your final year project.
Yes.
Can share. I always those internship that come to our company, first thing I will ask them, what is your final year project would be, and it has to be practical. Whether it is going to be applied or not is different matter. It's up to you, but you have to write something that is practical. It is not you are not in arts faculty. Your final year probably you have to write a novel or something. It is very imaginative, or I don't know. I've never been in art law, so do you? But in engineering, you have to write something that is most useful to the humankind and probably useful in the future. I've given a few tips like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and gadgets, and things like that, automatic operation, and so on. Okay.
Okay. So that's such a great sharing from Engineer Tuan Abdurrahmi. So there's a lot of things that we have been exposed about the new things, about the new experience, even though we are not experienced yet. So thank you so much, Engineer Tun Abdurrani, for your sharing and for your answer. Yes.
You are most welcome.
All right. Okay. So that's such a great experience. You have a great experience that you share with four of us. So after having this great interview session, we now can see clearly about the engineering path. So of course, there will be ups and downs in every field, every careers. But great things come with hard work, and all the struggle will pay off. So thank you once again for your willingness to be here with us, Engineer Tuan Abdurrani.